All right, all right, all right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live evening session. I'm your host for this evening session, Ryan Carthage. Benny won't be with us this evening. Keep his family in your prayers, if you will. We greatly appreciate it. So we're gonna dive right in. So as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds, your bodies to engage, as you guys always do. Grab a pen and paper for notes, and let's prepare to participate and engage. All right. Hope everybody had an awesome Wednesday. Some folks are maybe in Thursday already. Um, so we're excited. We're excited. We're ready to go. So we're going to dive into some fundamentals, take a look at what the Fed had to say in their notes, and then we will dive into the charts, get some updates on some setups that we sent out to the Telegram and to the Discord channel. And then we will take a look at pound pairs this evening. We'll go through the pound pairs, see what they're doing, see where they are, and see if there's any setups available for us this evening. All right. So without further ado, let's dive in. And just real quick, I'm gonna double check some things here, but drop me a one in the chat if you can see my trading economics screen and if you can hear me okay. Been working on some new things with the technology on the back end, so I want to make sure we're good. Sweet. All right. Appreciate it. So, Fed to continue to raise interest rates. All right. Fed policymakers continue to anticipate that ongoing interest rates in the federal funds rate would be appropriate and that restrictive policy stance would need to be maintained until incoming data provided confidence that inflation was on a sustained downward path toward 2%, right? Which was likely to take some time. That came from the meeting minutes, right? FOMC minutes also show that several participants noted that historical experience cautioned against prematurely loosening monetary policy in view of the persistent and unacceptable high levels of inflation. Right, there were some talks about the Fed potentially reversing their stance, and then potentially decreasing interest rates sometime in the near future. And in the notes, there were some policymakers that made that exact statement of doing that prematurely could be detrimental to everything that they've worked on so far. So, relatively hawkish stance for the Fed. You still got to bounce in the stock market, but there's still a relatively low liquidity as well. So you didn't see huge moves with um, with the meeting notes coming out. The Federal Reserve raised the fund rate by 50 basis points, right, in December at its last policy meeting and pushed the borrowing cost to its highest levels since 2007, right? And they're anticipating that terminal rate to be higher than originally anticipated. All right. So um, relatively hawkish. So when the liquidity starts to come back into the market next week, right, we could see some potential movement happen there. Okay, so we'll keep our eyes peeled on the charts for that. Um, oil, WTI crude futures rose toward $74 per barrel on Thursday, right, just now, after losing nearly 10% over the past two sessions. As investors continue to assess the global demand outlook, the U.S. oil benchmark suffered heavy losses in the first two trading sessions of the year as a surge in COVID cases in top importer China clouded the near-term outlook, right? So China's still going back and forth. They still plan on changing their COVID policy on the 8th. However, they're having a slight spike in COVID cases, so it's causing some short-term concern, right? The Federal Reserve also affirmed their commitment to bring down inflation and signaled it would not be easing or cutting rates anytime in the near future, fueling concerns of a looming recession in the U.S., right? So that conversation is still going back and forth, and that recession is more of a conversation now. Also, some of the boost in that concern of recession is heightened with some layoffs that have started to occur with some of your largest companies. It was announced today that Salesforce was decreasing their workforce by 10%, right? And that we could likely start to see other companies follow suit. All right. So that's something that's in the market right now that is also being assessed with your larger companies as they continue to make changes, because ultimately people overspent, right? Overspent during COVID, hired too many people, invested too much um, into their investments and innovations, right? So now they have to look at things, and as things are getting tighter, they got to tighten their pocketbook, right? So we'll keep our eyes peeled on all of that as we continue to move forward. Okay. Um, yeah. So we'll hop over to the calendar real quick, over to the Forex Factory calendar. And here on Forex Factory, okay, we see JOLTS job openings and the PMI numbers that came out today. Also, the PMI came in just below expectation, but right in the range. And then the JOLTS job openings did not decrease as much as expected, right? It actually increased. So there's some thoughts there of jobs still remaining in the market, which lends to the Fed continuing its hawkish stance, right? Because ultimately they want to increase unemployment and start to contract the job market, right? So that was the number there. ISM manufacturing prices did drop a little bit below expectation. And that was it for today, right? Look ahead to tomorrow. And we have ADP non-farm payroll, non-farm employment change, which is a precursor to the report that comes out on Friday, non-farm payroll. Unemployment claims also coming out tomorrow. So relatively light day. Appreciate that, Jeremy. And yes, the session is being recorded. Yep, is being recorded. Appreciate you giving me the reminder. So relatively light day tomorrow. Okay. You got crude oil inventories coming in at 11 o'clock. And then on Friday, we have, right, the big day for the first week, first Friday of the month. For Canada, you got your employment change, unemployment rate, and then your average hourly earnings, your non-farm employment change, and your unemployment rate for the United States. And then ISM services PMI coming out at 10 o'clock. Right. So that's the update on the calendar and how things will flow for the rest of the week. Okay. The rest
Recording in progress.
So let's any questions from a fundamental perspective before we dive into the charts? No? Cool deal. So let's I want to do a review real quick of some of the setups that some that we talked about this morning, some that we talked about yesterday, and get a quick update on where those setups are. So we're going to take a look at the Euro Aussie first. All right. The Euro Aussie, we're looking at 80-20 scenario on your 1 hour time frame and on your lower time frames, and a potential for a head and shoulders pattern, right? So on a daily time frame, we're looking at this daily level at 154.369. We're looking at getting that retracement to come here, right? And we're starting to get that with the new daily candle. We get down to the 4, okay, and you see that push started to happen, that reaction off that support level. Okay, we'll get down to the 1 hour where we started to see the opportunity, right? So on the 1 hour, you have your up fib coming here, that support level, right? 618 retracement in line with that daily support, and you got the reaction. Okay, strong bearish move that we talked about here, and this is the retracement. All right, so that setup that we're looking at off of the 15 and going down to the 5, right? We zoom out. And we take a look at this here. This is our fib on the 15-minute time frame. And we looked at this morning, we said we wanted a trend line break. Originally, we had our trend line coming here, right, off of the break, and we had this pullback. but price pushed just a little bit lower, right? And with that push a little bit lower, we just adjust that trend line to the outermost point, right? Getting as close to the lowest point as possible without cutting off any wicks or bodies. And then that's our reaction, right? So off of that low, off of the trend line break there, right? We're up 79 pips. And the take profit level is 205 pips away from that trend line break candle close. All right. So still got a little ways to go, but we are on the move, right? On the move. Beautiful setup there. Hopefully we're able to take advantage of that off of this morning. Okay. And then what we did also here off that 15-minute time frame, we copied that fib and we took it down to the 5, right, to look for a little bit of a tighter entry, right? We pull those fibs out. We drop down to that 5-minute time frame. This is that 15-minute fib on your 5. It's your 15-minute fib on the 5. So if you zoom in on that trend line, okay, you see the break came right here. So get you a few pips earlier off of that break, and then you can place that stop below the low, right? So your stop loss would have been 40 pips, right? And you're up over 100 pips if that was your entry there. All right. So that one is on the move. Was anybody able to take advantage of that Euro Aussie this morning? Yes. Awesome.
No.
Oh man. Okay. Quite a few folks did, which is great. Right. If you didn't, that's all right. We still got some more coming. So beautiful move there. Great job pulling the trigger once your rules were met. Any questions on that Euro Aussie? Nope. All right, cool deal. The next one we talked about this morning was that NZD USD, right? NZD USD. And we come here and we're just going to zoom in on the 15, right? Where that setup was. Pull the cloud off for a second. You can see it clean, right? This was the AB boundary that we're looking at here, right? We ran the fibs off of the high. And we came here, ran another fib there, right? That was our active AB boundary. And we said, hey, we got a deep retracement, 8-6 level, right? Opportunity for us to get short. So we wanted to copy that fib again from that 15-minute time frame. Cool. Drop down to the 15-minute time frame, right? With that copied fib. Now we're just waiting on our confirmations, right? Be it trend line break or the other thing that you can do, right? Being a little bit more conservative is using the cloud, which I'll show you in a second here, right? Trend line break. The initial one would have come there, right? But we price pushed down and then pushed back into that zone, right? So we would have adjusted that to the outside there, and there's your trend line break. All right. So there's one move there. The other way to look at this, right? Another way to gain that confirmation is using the cloud. Drop the cloud on, right? And waiting on that cloud break. So you had that initial aggressive trend line break here, right? But we didn't break through the cloud and we pushed back above, right? We had our Kumo twist. We had our TK crossover, right? But price pushed back up. And then we finally got the break of the cloud here. And now we're pushing to the downside. So off of the official break of the cloud was there. Currently, we're up 28 pips, right? And you can take those TPs along the way, right? So this would have been your TP1 at the 50% level, okay? And then your TP2 down here at your 236 level. Right, and then you can look at your B boundary and ultimately looking for price to push down to this 118 level, which is your matching D extension off the 618 retracement, right? So beautiful move so far. It's on the move, staying below the cloud. We still got a bearish cloud ahead, right? With our lagging span is below price. So we're still moving to the downside, all right? So manage the trade accordingly, adjust your stop loss, capture some of that profit, right? And as long as price continues to make those lower highs and lower lows, right, you can stay in that game. Okay. Any questions? Anybody able to take this this NZD dollar? Cool deal. Awesome. 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 Any questions on that setup? TP hit. Yep. Yep. TP hit for sure. Great work. Great work. Great work. Like I said, man, this year is the year of execution, man. The year of execution. So we're on. We're on. And then I want to get an update on this.
Yeah,
yes.
real quick. Yeah, thanks for that. I get in late, but I drew my fib the other way just to get a better entry because I didn't take it at the first time. So I just wait for like because there was a retracement after the trend line break. So I just entered after the trend line break. So yeah,
Okay.
I got it, but it was still okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you ran your fib off of on the 5 or the 15.
15. 15.
All right. So let's bounce back to the 15 real quick. Take a look at it.
Yeah, I don't know how to give.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So you saw this pullback here.
Yeah. So I entered 50 on you see the 50 on there, that sharp retracement on the 50. No, when you yeah, right there.
Okay. Okay. No, I like it. I like it. Right. You were conservative, and that still is in line with that cloud break, right? So this was that strong bearish move, and then you got the pullback here to retest the cloud on the 5. So that's right in line. Beautiful. Great work. Great job adjusting, right? Seeing how the market is moving, right? And finding an entry that met your rules and gave you a retracement, right? Great work. Great work. You guys are getting it, man. You guys are getting it. So that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome, right? And that's how it works. That's how it works. Okay. Any other questions on this NZD dollar? Nope. All right. Cool deal. Let's take a look at this CAD Swiss that we talked about yesterday morning. This CAD Swiss, we're looking at it, right? We said daily time frame. We had a fresh AB boundary form, right? At a weekly support level. Okay. And as long as that weekly support level held, we had an opportunity to potentially get long, right? Had an opportunity to get long. So as we drop down through the time frames, we had a little bit of confluence, right? Zoom out, take a look at this on the 4, right? So that's our fib on the 4. Price was pushing sideways, and we got this break here, right? We said if we get this push to the upside, right, look for a pullback and a retest of the consolidation that it was breaking out of, right? So that's what we're looking for. We got the beautiful push, and we got a pullback, right? In line, right? So your AB boundary, right at that B boundary level, you got that consolidation, you got to push to the upside. Okay. So beautiful move there. On your lower time frames, we'll look at on the 15, it actually hit our TP levels. And on the higher time frames, this is a longer term swing opportunity, right? And we'll watch to see if we get a break of this resistance level that we haven't been able to break out of yet on the 4 hour, right? But we got that pullback that we're looking for on Tuesday, right? So we drop down to your 1 and we look at it a little bit closer. And this is what we're diving into here. Get those fibs to pop in. There we go. Right? On your 1, you got an 80-20 scenario here, right? It's a beautiful setup. Beautiful setup. And this is that consolidation. And we zoom in a little bit more on this consolidation area here, which we're looking at, right? And we had that push, and this was the pullback to come back and retest that consolidation zone, right? And that's what we're looking to happen. They did it beautifully and also retested the trend line that it broke. And now the push to the upside, right? So be patient if you're not in this, right? You can wait, and we talked about this, right? Waiting for the break and retest, right? So if you're looking for a break out of the consolidation that it's in, we want to see a break above this level, right? And then a pullback to retest it. That could be your entry opportunity if you aren't in this already. All right. Retest that level, and then we'll look to get long there. Okay. So that's your break and retest if that's part of your rules. Okay. That's the break and retest there. That's what we also had here was the break, retest, push. All right. So longer term swing. There's your opportunity there. Still got quite a ways to go. This one could run for a while. Right. TP1 is 247 pips to the upside. All right. So now we drop down to the 15 and the 5. Right. And this is what we're looking at on the 15 and the 5. Let me clean this up some so we can see it. Right. We had the fibs running to the downside, and we had this consolidation happening here and this push occurring. Right. And we said we wanted to see a break out of that consolidation zone. Right. And then a pullback. And price was creating this high here. Okay. And we ran our fib to the upside. And we identified this 80-20 scenario, shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. Price immediately broke down, came down and retested that zone, right? Just what we're looking for. And then we got a push to the upside, right? Then we got that push to the upside that we're looking for. Okay. Then, right, we got another push down a little deeper. It did take out the A on that 5, right? So push down, took out the A, and then we got another reversal to the upside, right? But it came down and tested that zone just as we wanted it to and gave us a good opportunity for an entry, right? So that one's on the move in profit also. So that's three setups this week already, right? In somewhat of a slower market that have gave us some pretty good opportunities. Okay. Any questions on this cat Swiss? No. All right. Cool deal. Let's start diving into these pound pairs. Right. Going through making sure all of our pairs are updated as we prepare for this first quarter. So we'll start with this pound CAD. Right. Pound CAD closed the year out, pushing to the upside. Okay. We were starting to get a retracement at the close of December. So we have a new swing high here on the weekly time frame, right? 2 candles to the right. Change that to blue. Okay. We'll drop that down to our lower time frames. All right. We'll drop down to the daily. On the daily time frame here, right? We had 80-20 scenario setting up, right? That push to the upside, very little retracement, but we ran into this daily level here, created a swing high, and started to push down. This is also that weekly level that we identified as well. Okay. Pushing down, we're sitting at a 236 retracement level right now. And we got a shorter term support level right there. Right. So we got a daily level there and a daily level at your 382. Okay. So we'll see if we continue to get this move to the downside. Right. So that's our daily look. Drop to the 4. Zoom out. And at that level, we had a fresh AB boundary, right? As price was moving up, we're looking to see if price was going to give us a retracement in here, and we never got it. Momentum was just extremely strong. The CAD ended the month pretty weak, right? So price continued to push to the upside. Okay. So now we want to see, do we get a breakdown and a break of these support levels? Take that down there. Right? That level didn't go. 1 second, everybody. Link lower. The level's not moving for me. I'll reset in a second. But push down to the downside nonetheless. So we're sitting at a 786 retracement right now. We want to see, do we break this support level? Okay. Do we break this support level? And that'll give us a break and retest opportunity, right? To then potentially get short, as the CAD could continue to gain strength, at least through this first month. All right. So that's what we're looking for there. Nothing happening right now from a higher time frame perspective. Okay. As we drop down to our lower time frames, right, we get down to the 1 and similar look to the 4, right? Deep retracement level, getting some consolidation, and we're still going to wait to see if we get this push down to take out that A, and then we'll be able to flip our fib to the downside, right? So we'll continue watching this one. Nothing happening right now, but that's the pound cat just sitting tight, waiting on that one. Questions on the pound cat?
You may not take a long shot.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right. Cool deal.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Let me refresh my chart here. There we go. All right. Now let's go to the pound Aussie. Pound Aussie. We watched this one for quite a bit, right? Watched this one for quite a bit on the daily time frame. We've been in this zone, this consolidation for quite a bit. Double bottom here, pushed back up to the top of the range. But we're sitting in this 80-20 scenario, shallow retracement and just hovering in this 118, 127 zone, right? So on the daily time frame, this is a long move to the downside. We finally got it to start breaking down, but still not able to break the support level, right? We'll see now, right, as price continues to move, as the market starts to wake up a little bit, if we're able to get a break of this daily support level and continue to move to the downside, right? We'll have to be patient and wait and see. Okay. Drop to the 4. You can see that move just a little bit more closely, right? You see the consolidation there on the 4-hour. Okay. Down to that daily support level. We're getting a little bit of a retracement right now. So what I'm going to do, because this has been a long consolidation range, I'm going to pull this fib out on the 4, right? And I want to look at it more from a range perspective. And I'll run the fib from the top to the bottom to see where we fall on the Fibonacci sequence, from the top of the range to the bottom of the range, right? So we see that fib was completed. We have a swing low here. So our new fib on this one would look like this. Okay, so let's see if on the 4-hour, we'll look at the 1-hour as well. See if we get a little bit deeper retracement here, right? See if we get a pullback into the 618 level. Okay. If we get a pullback like this back into our sweet spot, we might have an opportunity to get short, right? Might have an opportunity to get short. So we'll keep our eyes on this one from a higher time frame perspective on the 4, right? And we drop down to the 1. This is what we're looking like here on the 1. Okay. We already got a 382 retracement here. Okay. Already got the 382. Not able to quite get to the D extension, and we're getting a little bit of a pullback now. Okay. Pretty strong move to the downside, right? And the market's just taking back some of that move. Okay. So we want to see if we get, right, another push to the upside like that. Okay. Another push to the upside like that. So as we continue moving down, we'll get down to the 15 and the 5. And we'll watch for some opportunities here, right? So the 15 kind of plays into our favor a little bit. Let me back up, right? I ran my fibs off the high, just like I did off that 4-hour and the 1-hour. Okay. Whoops. Must have ran them differently the first time. There we go. So that's actually the correct fib, right? AB boundary there. And we see we had shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone with the consolidation. Now we're getting our retracement, right? So this looks similar to that 4 and that 1 if we get this deeper retracement here, right? So we'll sit tight and wait to see if we can get price to push up into that sweet spot, okay? See if price can push up into that sweet spot, okay? If we get that, then we can look for an opportunity then to get short. Okay. So that's our 15-minute time frame. And if we drop down to the 5 more shorter term opportunities, right, we'll look at this way, right? And this is where those smaller fibs came into play here, right? Run them to the downside. They got taken out. Those got taken out there. So flip it and run it to the upside, like so, right? So you got shallow retracement, price is just hovering now. Let's see if it hits that D extension and moves higher, right? So nothing doing on the lower time frames just yet, or on the higher time frames. We're going to wait for this pullback to occur. Okay, so be patient on this pound Aussie and see if we can get a higher price off the 4-hour or off of this off of the 15-minute time frame for then a short opportunity. You guys follow me on this pound Aussie? The fibs got messed up there. Yes. All right. Beautiful. All right, there we go. So that's what we're looking for there on the 15, right? Cool. Let's keep rocking. So we did the pound CAD, pound Aussie. Let's take a look at the pound yen. Okay. Now the yen started to gain its strength, and we see that push to the downside beautifully, right? Came into that 618 retracement level. Now we got some indecision. Okay. So we want to see, do we stay here? Do we push deeper? Or do we start to get a little bit of a retracement here? Okay. From a daily time frame perspective, similar look, right? We'll zoom out. We'll run the fib off the low. Whoops. Zoom back in a little bit. There we go. Run the fib off the low. And this is where we sit, right? Similar to that weekly time frame. Shallow retracement just shy of the 118, 127. Then we got the breakdown. Sitting at a 618 retracement level right now. So the question is simply, do we push back up and retest this daily level, right? Or does price turn over and continue making its way to the downside? Okay, so that's what we're looking at, those if-then statements as we get down to the lower time frames. Okay, so on our 4, we have an interesting situation here, right? Ran the fib off the high, right? We had this consolidation that took the fibs out in both directions. So we run the fib off the high to the downside, okay? We got a fresh AB boundary here. Haven't got to that 382 level, right? Shallow retracement. We pushed into the 118, 127 zone. And now we're starting to get this push, okay? So we want to see, again, right, just like we just looked at on the 1, do we get price to push up and retest that daily level? Okay, and then we'll be able to make a decision. Okay, retesting the daily level, do we stay below and turn over and push down? Or do we continue to make these higher highs and higher lows and break this daily level and continue higher? Okay, so that's what we want to see from a higher time frame perspective. Coming down to our 1, things start to get a little bit interesting, right? So on a 1-hour time frame, ran the fibs off the high again, right? Fresh AB boundary. We're sitting at a 618 retracement level, right? But from a higher time frame, we want to see if we get another push to the upside, okay? Just to add a little bit of confluence, see if we have it. Here we go, right? So fresh AB boundary, right? These are smaller waves, our sub fibs running to the upside. So we'll see if we push into this 118, 127 zone, or even push up to hit the sub fib D extension and take out this A, right? That would hit that 382 off the 4-hour time frame, right? Go back here, right? That 382 sits just above that daily resistance level, okay? So if we get another push to the upside here, hit the D extension, take out the A, that also hit the 382 on the 4-hour time frame. Gives us a little bit of confluence, right? To say, okay, we might be in for another push to the upside, right? At some point. So we'll watch and we'll be patient there, waiting for that to occur. Okay. So that's what we're looking for on the pound yen. right? If you drop down to your lower time frames, see if we have anything cooking there. Let's run the fib off the high, see where it takes us. We got an 80-20 scenario playing out on the 15, right? No matter the time frame, shallow retracement, 118 and 127 zone, we're getting this push to the upside now, right? So let's see if this continues to ride a little bit higher. Okay, so similar story on all the time frames, looking for price to push a little bit higher for us. All right. Questions on the pound Aussie? I mean, pound yen. I bet. No. Cool deal. Cool deal. Let's take a look at the pound dollar. So this is where things get a little interesting, right? So we pushed into this weekly resistance level. Okay. We actually broke that resistance level here, but could not stay above, right? So this weekly level would adjust to that high point, right? You got two candles to the right here. So that's our new high. That previous high was broken. Price pushed down off that high. We're getting some consolidation right now, right? Indecision in the market, unsure of what's happening. You got some bulls in the stock market trying to push things up, right? You got companies laying people off. You got things slowing down, but your investors are trying to find a way to be optimistic, right? So here we sit on the daily time frame. We got our fib. This is a large one coming off the high, right? We're sitting at a 50% retracement right now. Okay, so it's two ways we can look at this. We do have the potential for a King's Crown pattern here, right? Pushed up, took out the previous high. Price is coming down. If this daily level holds and turns over, right, and gives us that deeper push, we got the King's Crown pattern here that could potentially play out. This is one scenario that we can look at, right? If price pushes back to the upside, takes out the daily resistance level, right? Takes out the weekly resistance level, we could be in for this right tip to form and price to push. Okay. One way to look at this. The other way to look at it is we got a 50% retracement, right? If we get a push down and take out that low and a retest for price to hold, we could see price continue making its way down in favor of the dollar, right? We'll take a look at the dollar index in a minute to see see its movement for the day. But we talked about the dollar potentially giving us another push to the upside before it turns over. So we'll watch this closely to see which scenario plays out here, the King's Crown pattern or this push to the downside, right? So that's one scenario from or two scenarios from a higher time frame. Okay. So as we drop down to the 4, we got our fibs running off the low here, right? Because we got this deep push here, took out the previous high, so that took out our A. So we ran the fib now from the low to the high. And we got some back and forth happening, right? Shallow retracement, 118 to 127 zone, price is pushing down. Okay, so this plays into that scenario of if then, right? If then. So if price pushes out of that range, retest the top, we got our King's Crown pattern working to the upside. Okay. If price presses back down to the bottom of this range, takes out the low, retests and holds, then we're looking short opportunities here. Okay. So we want to be patient and watch it, right? We got that 80-20 scenario on the 4-hour that could continue to play out and give us those that deeper retracement that we would like to see. The double bottom right here, 18997. I dig that. Right. Joy says she saw this double bottom here. Swing low formed, pushing to the upside. Okay. We'll look at it on the 1 hour time frame as well, but that's a good eye. That's a good eye, right? That support level held, and we got a strong push up, right? So now it's looking to see, do we continue that ride higher? Okay. Drop down to the 1. And this is what we have, right? This is that consolidation that we're watching. Fibs coming off the high. We got a 50% retracement. Couldn't break out to the downside to get to the D extension. We pushed back up. Okay. And this is that double bottom that Joy spotted. Right here. Okay. So it's just a matter of which direction we break out of the range. Okay. So nothing doing right now. We're waiting on that breakout. Waiting on that breakout. And once we get it, then we can make a decision. Once we get it, then we can make a decision. You need to break out of the range. Okay. Now, if you want to trade the range, right, you can do that. I would look at the lower time frames on that to trade top of the range, bottom of the range if that occurs, or if you get a push back up to that daily level at 121. Okay. And if it stays below, then we can look for top of the range to the bottom of the range, something like that. Okay. So be patient there. Be patient there and allow it to come to you. Okay.
Question.
Yes. Talk to me.
On the 1 hour, if you run the fib from all the way down from 1035 538.
Off the low.
Yeah, that low right there.
You got a deep retracement, don't you? Yeah.
And trend line break.
Are you ran the trend lines off the high there? Let's see.
Yeah.
Take those out. Let's see. Running a trend line off the high. Like
so that's what I'm looking at.
This what you're here. So what I'll say here is just be careful, right? Because you got the sideways push through this trend line.
Mm-hmm.
This is the trend line break you're looking at, or did you have a more aggressive one coming down?
No. I don't have any aggressive, just that one.
Okay. Yeah, I would just what I would have done here is I would, because this sideways push occurred, I'd shift that trend line like that.
Okay.
Right? Because you didn't get a strong bullish push here. Right?
Yeah.
You started getting really choppy, tons of wicks on both sides. So I would adjust that trend line because of that consolidation as it moves sideways. Right? I like the look though, right? Because you got your deep retracement, 618. Okay. So I just say be patient here on this move. Okay. Like I said, if you push back down to the bottom of this range and get you essentially a triple bottom scenario here and that level holds, then that'll be a better kind of risk to reward scenario for you. Right? If that level holds a third time and we get a push.
That's what I'm waiting for me to get that what's it called? The other trend line break going down again. Yeah. If that down.
Yeah, I like it. Right. So we'll see. Right. At a key level, 618 retracement with a daily support. So if you get that push down, that could be an opportunity there. You get another trend line break there, push to the upside. And then that'll put you in a situation where you can see this a little bit better, right? You can manage your risk a little bit tighter. If it breaks that daily support, then we'll look for a price to continue to ride to the downside. I like the thought there, Michael. I like the thought there for sure. So let's see. Be patient, allow it to move. Another way you can kind of monitor this, drop the cloud on, and you see what the cloud, you broke it and it's pushing sideways. Okay, so that's another way to look at it. You got a bullish cloud ahead. You had your TK crossover here. Your lagging span is pushing sideways. See, everything was pushing sideways through price. So, right, so this could get a retest of the cloud. Since we broke the cloud, right, you could get a retest of it there, and then we could see a push also. So we'll see. We shall see. Nice work. Nice work. Any other questions here on this pound dollar? Cool. I'm going to hop over to the other side. Take a look at pound Swissy. From a daily time frame perspective on the pound Swiss, right? We know our bias. Well, my bias on the Swiss, right, is somewhat bearish on the Swiss. The central bank stated that they wouldn't hesitate to intervene if necessary, all right, with their bank deposits. So we could see this one push in favor of the pound potentially. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we do have an 80-20 scenario, shallow retracement, 118-127 zone, and we've just been playing in this range, weekly resistance to weekly and daily support. Okay, so we've been playing here for a while. We have a swing low here. Okay, so now we want to see, do we get a push to the upside, right? Do we get a push to the upside? So as we move down through the time frames, come down to the 4, similar look, but you see the range, right? See the range. So we want to see, do we get a push to the upside there, or do we finally break the support level and continue pressing lower? Okay, so not much happening there on the higher time frames. And as you get down to the lower time frames, this is more of a range play opportunity. Okay, range play opportunity. So two things to look at here. One, you can run your fib off the high and see where you fall. And you already got a 50% retracement there. So not much doing as far as our sweet spots are concerned. The other thing you have potentially developing here is head and shoulders pattern. You got your push down, right? You push up. We'll take the high, push down, right? Even neckline. And your right shoulder's trying to form here. Okay, right shoulder's trying to form. So if that right shoulder does form and we get a push to the upside, we could see this head and shoulders pattern play out. Okay, so off the head and shoulders pattern, we'll run the fib off the low to the high of the right shoulder, and that gives us our look. So we got a 50% retracement. Matching the extension would be there just inside that A boundary if this plays out in this fashion. So this is something also to watch. Keep your eyes on if you trade head and shoulders patterns. Okay, could be in for that move to the upside. So take a look. Doesn't meet your rules, you can drop down to the lower time frame as well to look for that entry opportunity for the move back up. Okay, that's one. I'll keep that on the chart because I want to see how this plays out here. I want to see how that plays out. We're getting a little bit of a pullback right now. We'll see if it stays above that 1 hour support level right here. Okay, but that's something to keep your eyes on. As you drop down to your 15, it's the head and shoulders pattern a little bit more pronounced. We'll pull it out for a second, actually. And let's run our fib off the low. You had an 80-20 scenario play out here. Shallow retracement, 118-127 zone. You're getting a push to the downside. So we'll see. Do we get another push down or push into the sweet spot, the 618 level? Okay. Give us a deeper right shoulder. Maybe. Okay. So, but just consolidating right now. This is all just sideways movement right here. So we'll see what happens if we get price to turn over there. Okay. So keep your eyes on this one also. Keep your eyes on that for potential head and shoulders pattern. Just want to write this one down. Okay. Any questions on the pound Swiss? Okay. Come back to the 1. I'm going to drop this pattern back on there. Okay. So we'll watch that. We'll watch that. All right. Pound NZD. Let's bring it back to the daily. So we're pushing to the upside off the daily support just inside of that 618 retracement. Another 80-20 scenario that played out. Shallow retracement, just shy of the 118, 127 zone. Breakdown. You also had a head and shoulders pattern here that also played out. All right. Head and shoulders pattern played out there. Oops. Okay. So played out beautifully. You got your push to continue to the downside. So now, do we get a flip here? Okay. Things in China back and forth. China being a primary trade partner for New Zealand. So we'll see if the New Zealand continues to gain the strength, or does this flip, and do we get a push back to the upside in favor of the pound? Okay. Could range here for a little while. Right? Bottom of the range. We're working our way back to the top of the range. So we'll see. Okay, let's drop down to the 4. Zoom back out. Similar story to the daily. Deep retracement here. You got a 786 retracement, right? Off of the 80-20 scenario. Beautiful move down, right? So we're just hovering. Okay, so you can run your trend lines to the downside and be patient and wait. Wait for a break above, break out of the consolidation. Could be in for a move there if we get it. All right. Drop down to the 1. Similar story. Similar story to the daily and the 4-hour. Shallow retracement on all 3 levels. 118, 127 zone. And we have the breakdown. Okay. So it's all in alignment, right? Pushing to the downside. So the question is, do we stay below the trend line? We're able to push up and then break above that daily resistance level and break out of the consolidation. Okay. So waiting there, waiting patiently there. Okay. So not much doing on the pound New Zealand, waiting to see if we get a breakout in one direction or the other. Questions on the pound New Zealand? Nope. Okay. All right. Take a quick look at the DXY. And then if you guys have any pairs that you got your eyes on, we can take a look at them. I got time for 1, maybe 2 that we can take a look at that you have your eyes on. So here on the DXY, right, we're still just pushing sideways, trying to come out of the bottom of the range and see if we get a push back to the top and finally break out. Okay, so we're just hovering, We could continue this fashion through the rest of the week into next week. So not a ton doing on the DXY. And you see that also in those dollar crosses. Okay, see that also in the dollar crosses. So that's where we are from a daily time frame perspective. Bounce out 1 level. We're hovering at the 618 retracement off the daily, which is in line with that weekly support. Okay, so if we do get that breakout to the upside, we have that potential head and shoulders pattern that we could see. Oops. Head and shoulders pattern here. Right? If we get that push back to the upside. Okay. We'll look for that if we get this move back up. which could serve for those dollar crosses, right, that we talked about, getting those retracements and pushing deeper below those daily and weekly support levels that they're currently sitting at, right? A pound dollar, the euro dollar, and even that NZD dollar. If we get this push back to the upside, so that NZD dollar give a nice little fall. Okay. So that's the dollar index. Got a couple minutes. Drop some pairs in the chat for me that you guys got your eyes on, and we can take a look at them and see where they sit. Give you guys a minute there. Dollar CAD, Euro CAD. Yeah, okay. So, like we said, that Canadian dollar is starting to pick up some strength. All right. So here on the daily time frame on the dollar CAD, came into that 50% retracement level, started to push up, and now we're just ranging. Today we had a strong bearish move as that Canadian dollar picked up some strength. Okay. So we want to see what happens at this daily support. Do we break it, continue moving lower, or do we push higher? Okay. Do we push higher? Tons of opportunity here. We'll see how this eventually plays out and which side wins, right? Which side wins. So that's where we're sitting from a higher time frame down to the 4. Pull this out. We'll zoom back from a 4-hour perspective. Run the fib to the upside. Those fibs got taken out. So we'll flip them and we'll run them from the top down.
No,
Okay.
10 o'clock. You can watch something until 10:30. What?
So there we go there. Okay. Deep retracement, 786. Push to the downside. So this is that daily support that we're hovering at right now. Okay. So I want to see, do we get a breakdown to the down or do we push back to the upside and stay in this range for a little while longer? Okay. Drop to the 1. And we're in this range right now, running the fibs off the high. If I'm not mistaken, they get taken out. No, they don't. All right. There we go. 786 retracement, and we're just hovering there. Okay, so we got this range happening right now. So we'll sit tight. We'll sit tight and see. Okay, you got your nice deep retracement, but we got this range happening, potential dollar strength coming in. So we'll see if we get a push back above or if we break that low. Okay, so that's kind of where we sit there. If you drop down to your lower time frames, let's see what's on the 15. On your 15, we'd run the fibs off the high. These get taken out. Yep. So we'll come to your most recent high here. Run it to the downside. Zoom in a bit. Run it to the downside. So here on your 15, here's opportunity for us if we get prices stay above this daily level. Right? On
That's what
15,
I'm looking at.
Intraday. That's what you're looking at? Okay. Yeah. So if that daily level holds, right, you got a strong bullish push here. So we could see that price rise. Good eye. Good eye, good eye, good eye. Couple scenarios, trend lines. Out. Right. And then your trend line coming to the downside.
Yeah.
Got a nice break there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. 80-20 scenario right there. Boom. Break of the trend line. You're getting a pullback. You might come back and retest this consolidation, right? So watch that. Could see another push to the downside. Just to come back and retest that daily level there. And then see if you get the push like so. So that's one way to look at it. Also, what you can do, right, is mapping that fib and taking it down to the 5 to look for that entry opportunity. Okay. See if you get a cloud break on the 5. That could give us a nice conservative look, but still one that gives us a good entry opportunity there. So let's see. See, similar to that New Zealand dollar from this morning, right? Pushed into the cloud, didn't break out yet, so it's hovering in the cloud. So if you wait for this breakout of the cloud, this could give you a really nice setup here. right? So see if we get another pushback down to the downside, test that daily support level, and then see if we get a push and break this cloud, right? You got the bullish cloud ahead. You had your TK crossover. Lagging span is above price. So the only thing now we need to wait for is that breakout of the cloud. All right. So wait for that push. I'd be a little bit patient here and allow that to happen just from a more conservative perspective. But that's what I'd be looking for. Allow price to pull back a little bit and then push back above the cloud here. And then I'd look for that entry on that. That's a good eye, man. That's a good eye. And then your TP levels at 382. 382, especially if we get that dollar strength to come in, right? 382 and your TP2 of 618. And this could even run further, right? If we get that push and price continues running to the upside, you could get that A taken out, right, and continue to break higher. So that's a good look. Appreciate that, Michael. That's a good look. Any questions on this dollar CAD?
I had another question, Ryan.
Yeah.
Do you think USD CAD and CAD Chef, they run opposite of each other? I think I know that today.
So the CADs are you said the CAD Swiss or the
Yeah.
CAD Swiss?
Oh, CAD Swiss. Mm-hmm.
Let's compare them real quick. Here we go. I don't do a ton of correlated pairs, but this is a way you can take a look at it to see, right? So the line is your CAD Swiss, and here's right? They're running in opposite directions. You see it as you move back and look, right? So they are almost mirror opposites. Okay, still doing mirror opposites. So yeah, that's a good look, right? So if your CAD Swiss is moving to the downside, this one could be moving to the upside. It's a good eye.
Yeah, I had both of those pairs going today, and I was like, why are they doing like? So that's how I kind of was like, oh, maybe they actually are opposite. So.
Yeah. That's a good look. That's a good look. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah. So as you're trading, you can look at that for sure. For sure. Cool deal. Greg, yes, Saturday rituals are back on this Saturday. We will be back at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those do not get posted to YouTube, though, right? Those don't get streamed to YouTube. That is exclusively for Inner Circle members. So, no, that doesn't get posted publicly to YouTube. The Saturday rituals and Mindset Mondays, those are exclusive to Inner Circle members. So, but we are back on Saturday. So this Saturday, 7 a.m., we'll be back at it. David, what's up, man?
Oh, I'm sorry. My mic was off. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good.
It's regarding Discord. How many emails do you send out to us?
I've sent out 3, I believe. I'll send out another. I just want to make sure that everybody gets the notification and everybody gets moved over. That Telegram chat will be closed down completely, and everybody will be removed from it as of January 11th. So I want to ensure that everybody gets the notification and they get over to Discord securely, but also want to ensure that we have your Inner Circle profile updated with your username in Discord, right? So that we can match the two to ensure that we're able to monitor the community effectively.
Okay. I did start it, and I did access to Discord, the Forex trading room.
Yep.
And he said, "Welcome to the Forex trading room." You know, that's as far as I can go. I can't move from there.
Yeah.
I'm in Discord.
Okay. You'll get what has to happen is a role has to be assigned to you, and that'll happen here probably in about 20 minutes. Those roles will be assigned to anybody that enrolled in the last few hours. So that'll be assigned to you, and then you'll be able to see the inner circle member chat and the trade idea section.
Okay, I'm okay as far as it is now.
Yep.
As rules and guidelines, that's as far as I can go.
Yep.
I'm
You should
okay
be
up
good.
to that.
You'll get a role assigned to you here shortly.
Okay.
And you'll
I
be
hear.
able to see everything.
Okay.
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 Appreciate you, man.
Okay. Thank you very much, man.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Thanks for the great job you're doing, man. Oh man. Yeah.
I appreciate it,
Thank
man.
you.
Appreciate
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Ryan, can I piggyback on a gentleman's message about Discord?
Yeah, but what's up?
I appreciate you. And also my sentiments exactly as far as how well you guys treat us in this community. I feel totally blessed to have found you, Casey and Benny. But I'm having trouble with Gmail. They want me to, I guess, like upgrade and pay for more. I'm wondering if it's possible that I can switch my email to my AT&T email and
Yeah,
have
so if
everything.
you log into your inner circle profile,
Yes,
you
sir.
should be able to update your email address.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Update it there. If you have any trouble, send us an email at the forextraderoom@gmail.com.
Okay.
And we can help you walk through it if you have any issues. But you should be able to update that profile.
Thank you so much. I'll do it after class. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So the other thing to think about too with the Canadian dollar, right? There's those growth concerns, right? So we'll see if the CAD continues to gain the strength. We'll have to watch it to see. Right now, the CAD has been gaining some strength, but if the growth concerns continue, we could see it flipping that, right? We could see it flipping that and the CAD start to taper off if oil makes any strong pushes to the downside. So that CAD Swiss and the dollar CAD, we'll see how it continues to move. Right now, we got the CAD Swiss pushing to the upside in favor of the Canadian dollar. So we'll watch that to see how that moves as the days go on. Okay, so just a note there. And then real quick, we'll finish up with this Euro CAD. We had a full breakdown. Monthly, we had an 80-20 scenario. Weekly, we had an 80-20 scenario pushed into the 618 level on both of those higher time frames. Here on your daily, we're sitting at a B boundary, and we broke this support level yesterday or today, right? Broke the support level. We're retesting that now. So we want to see, do we get this to continue to make its way to the downside off this B boundary? Okay, we're waiting to see if we got that break, and we finally got it. Finally got it. Okay. Come down to the 4. And on the 4, you got your 80-20 scenario playing out. Shallow retracement, 118 and 127 zone, consolidation that we like to see. And we finally got that trend line break that we talked about this morning, and you got a break of the support. So let's see if this level holds as resistance now and gives us that opportunity to continue pushing short, right? But it worked out, played out, right? And got that break. Come down to the 1. And we see just a little more closely. Okay. 80-20 scenario, and there's your break. Okay. And there's your break. So if this holds, that's that break and retest opportunity to then get short. Okay. Break and retest opportunity to get short. You can play it off your 4, you can play it off your 1, right? 382 is there. Your 4-hour 382 is a little bit deeper. Okay. But playing out as we like it to, right? We're getting the confirmations. Now look for that entry opportunity for the short. Okay. But that's beautiful. So now we come down to our lower time frames on your 15. Here was the breakdown. Okay, if we move back a little bit, this was the earlier break, right? On Tuesday, you got your break of your cloud push down, pullback, consolidation. And this is what we're looking at this morning to see if we got a pullback off the B boundary, right? And we pulled back a little bit, but then we broke down to the downside. Okay. So we're staying below the cloud and we're continuing to push. Broke that support level. So now we'll look to continue to the short side off the 50% retracement off the 15. Okay. So that is the Euro CAD. Looking for continued shorts. Looking for continued shorts. Okay. That's the Euro CAD. Questions on this? Joey, you short on it?
Yep, I'm short. In at 144779. It was a earlier break and retest.
Yep, right here. Uh, 4479.
I'm sorry. 44779.
Okay. Yep. Yep. In that range. Yeah. Great work. Great work. Beautiful. Yeah. Looking for that to continue short, at least in the short term. Okay. Any other questions about anything that we covered this evening before we wrap it up? No. Continue to be patient, good people. All right. Wait for the trades to come to you. Allow your rules to be met, and then pull the trigger. All right. So we'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. We'll see you then. Have an awesome evening. Have an awesome morning for those that are in other countries. All right. We appreciate you guys showing up for yourselves. We appreciate you putting in the work. We'll continue at it. All right. Have a good evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
you.
Thank you.
Right.